Welcome to today's episode of Tommy Maroon Show on WCTV. And how about this? We're live on Facebook. Yeah, look, there I am right there. So shout out to those who are watching, if you're watching. But mainly, let's get right on going. First things first, Indians or Cleveland Guardians, whatever you want to call them. Same team. They're still a great team. And let's get this show on the road with our leader in average, which is Ahmed Rosario, 277. Jose leads us in homers, RBIs, stolen bases. There's Jose on your screen, folks. 25 home runs, 68 RBIs, 13 stolen bases. Shane Bieber leads us in ERA and strikeouts, and Aaron Savali starts off with a whip, a 106 whip. Series recaps. We saw the weekend series, and the Indians won the series. That's right, we won the series 2-1 against the Detroit Tigers. Cal Quantrill in game 1. Tough luck loser, or no, not tough luck loser. He was a winner, 7 innings and 10 strikeouts. Miles Straw and Ahmed Rosario, 2 RBIs each in game 1. Eli Morgan was a tough luck loser in game 2. Bradley Zimmer go-ahead home run in game 3, which was huge. And Owen Miller also had a home run in game 3. We were trailed by a little bit in that as well. Indians against the Reds. That was Monday with the Ohio Cup. My goodness, we won it. We won it 9-3. It was a blowout. Jose had an RBI and Jose had a home run and 3 RBIs. Wilson Ramos had a 2-run bomb. But the one thing that everyone knew about was a big 471-foot bomb into deep center field. It was one of the craziest home runs the Indians have ever had in the StatCast era. In fact, it's the furthest one ever hit in the StatCast era. And then, of course, there was last night's game against Oakland where we choked away the lead. Up 3-1, then 3-2. Then Oakland tied it up at 3 and then lost in extra innings. Andres Jimenez appeared as a pinch hitter for Ernie Clement. But man, it was quite frustrating to see that. If you are an Indians or Guardians fan, whatever you want to call it, it's just not good to see the Indians lose. Let's take a look at the standings. Don't have it on the paper, but I do have it on the phone. And we are 10.5 back of the division lead. Detroit is just 12.5 back for comparison. That means Detroit is 2 games behind us. That's not good. In the word Sonic, that's no good. And man, oh man, we're 8 games back in the wild card. Good heavens. It's pretty obvious that the Indians are nowhere near the playoff hunt anymore. No sirree. 5 people watching this on Facebook. How about that? Anyways, the Pro Football Hall of Fame weekend. It's so exciting to see that, including our Hall of Fame game, which was at Tom Benson Stadium, home of Canton McKinley, the Bulldogs. Steelers, Cowboys, and the Steelers ended up winning. That was the very first handoff Najee Harris ever had in a Steelers uniform, I believe. And the final score was 16-3. Pittsburgh took home the win. The first half was very slow and very low scoring. There's Chase Claypool, the overrated Canadian. And yep, speaking of sloppy play right there. And Sam Sloman for Pittsburgh missed a field goal, but Hunter Niswander had a horrible field goal. It was one of the worst field goals I had ever seen in football. It was way to the right. It was depressing. Kalen Ballage had a touchdown for Pittsburgh in the third. Joshua Dobbs, touchdown pass in the fourth. He's the third stringer. Mason Rudolph, who's a jerk, and Ben Roethlisberger, who is also bad at football. They are, of course, the number 2 and number 1 quarterbacks for the Steelers. So it was fun to see the Hall of Fame game, especially considering the fact that last year it didn't happen because of COVID. And it may not have been the most exciting game, but it was still something to talk about. Class of 2020 for the Hall of Fame. They did get to honor them last year, but this year they got to honor them. Including guys like Jimmy Johnson, 2-time Super Bowl champion with the Cowboys. And then you have Bill Cowher, a Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steve Atwater, one of the toughest hitters, I believe. He was in it. Isaac Bruce was also part of it, I believe. He was part of the, greatest show on turf. Cliff Harris, Steve Hutchinson, Edger, and James, a great running back in the day. Max Speedy for the Cleveland Browns a while ago. There's, of course, Paul Tagliabue, former commissioner of the National Football League, of course. I'm pretty sure most of you may have known that. Troy Polamalu is one of them as well. He was a two-time Super Bowl winner with Pittsburgh and on the cover of Madden 10 with Larry Fitzgerald, who is soon to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure we all know about that. Steve Sable of NFL Films, another one that was in the Hall of Fame. And then you have the class of 2021, which was honored as well the next day after 2020. There they are for you, folks. What is that being? Peyton Manning, who is one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. He won 2 Super Bowls and 5 MVPs. 5 MVPs, good heavens. That is insane. 2003, 2004, 2008, 2009, and 2013. Charles Woodson, I believe, was a Super Bowl champion for the Packers, but was part of an Oakland team that made to Super Bowl 37. They've only had 1 postseason appearance after that. John Lynch, he was also in that Super Bowl that the Raiders made too. He won it. Another heavy hitter. Calvin Johnson, he may not have had the best luck with who was with him, but you know what? He does have the record for most receiving yards in a regular season. Drew Pearson, a Super Bowl champion as well, caught the original Hail Mary pass. There's also Alan Faneca and Tom Flores, a 2-time Super Bowl champion. And then you have high school football after that. That's right, high school football preview is right here. I cannot wait for it. There is the Suburban League for you folks, and unlike in years past, in which we just did Suburban League, we are expanding with more and more games. I have a lot of teams, over 50 of them, and what was a lot of fun, but also very hard, it kind of worrisome work. High school football preview. Well, there it is for you folks. I have a feeling that the Law Firm and the Highland Hornets might win the conference. I just have that gut feeling. Is there a bias? Maybe. But looking at the team on paper, they have some star receivers and some star running backs as well. 8-2, 7-0. We're going to drop it to North Royalton and Brunswick this year. Barberton going to finish in second. Their only loss going to be to us. Then you have Aurora. Their losses will be to us and Barberton. Roosevelt loses 3 and wins 4. Revere goes 3-4. Copley going to go 4-6, 2-5. Cuyahoga Falls, who has jumped ship from National Conference to the American Conference, 3-7, 1-6. They will take down Talmadge, who will go 2-8, 0-7. The National Conference for you folks. It starts off with your champions, Hudson and Stowe. That's right, Hudson and Stowe. Hudson going to be 8-2, 5-1. Stowe going to be 7-3, 5-1 as well. Second place, tie for a second, I ought to say. Brecksville and Wadsworth both going to be 4-2 in their conference. Wadsworth 6-4, Brecksville 7-3. Of course, the Brecksville Broadview Heights Bees are very good at football. And then there's the Nordonia Knights, North Royalton Bears, and Twinsburg Tigers, who will all tie for last place. Of course, North Royalton 3-7, but you know what? They'll take down Highland, in my opinion. And every time we play North Royalton, it is always, not sometimes, it is always a great game that is fun to watch and beyond thrilling. And then you have the Greater Cleveland Conference, the best conference in all of high school football, in my opinion. There they are on the left of your screen. The champions of the Greater Cleveland Conference will be the Mentor Cardinals, going undefeated. That's right, they're going to run the tables and win every single game this year. Good golly. Medina will be 9-1, 4-1. Their only loss this year will come to Mentor. Brunswick and Euclid, 6-4, 4-6. Of course, Euclid is a really fantastic and phenomenal team. That record doesn't mean anything. They are in the top 5 of Northeast Ohio zone. They just rebranded, I forgot that, for top 5 in Northeast Ohio. It's so hard to tell and hard to pick, but Euclid's definitely got to hang in at 4-6 means nothing. They can easily go and beat Medina, perhaps 10-0. Solon and Strongsville, 5-5, 1-4, and 4-6, 1-4. But my goodness, that Greater Cleveland Conference, Mentor and Medina, that's going to be the biggest game of the year. Medina playing Brunswick is also going to be a big game. Mentor playing Brunswick, also going to be a good game. Those 4 schools, when they face off against each other, I'm telling you, you're going to have some excitement to boot. And then you have the Federal League. The Lake Blue Streaks and Perry Panthers will win it with a good record of 8-2 and 5-1 each. That's right. That's Lake on the right. Couldn't get Perry, couldn't get Woodridge because there wasn't any room. But huge shout out to those schools that are going to win the conferences. And then you have the Hoover Vikings also going 8-2, 4-2. Canton McKinley 6-4, 3-3. Jackson Polar Bears 6-4, 3-3. Green Bulldogs going to be 2-8. And then Glen Oak won't win a game in the Federal League, but they will pick up a win. The Metro Athletic Conference has Woodridge winning. Second place going to be Norton and Ravenna. Coventry and Streetsboro will be tied as well. Cloverleaf 4th and in dead last, Field and Springfield. But you know what? They all get wins. That's one thing that I noticed. Every team wins. That's right, every team wins. And then you have the Great Lakes Conferences. That's right. The Great Lakes East Buckeye Bucks are going to win. That is such a fun name to say, Buckeye Bucks. But yeah, they're going to go 8-1, 5-0. Keep in mind they play 9 games, and then the 10th game is an open game. They either play another school or they play the championship. Holy Name going to be in second place. They'll drop to Buckeye, I believe. Yes, sir, they will drop to Buckeye. And then Valley Forge is going to be 3-2. And then in dead last, you have Lakewood Rangers, the Normandy Invaders, and Parma Redmond, who have had their struggles over the past few years. But you know what? If there's one year that they can turn it around, I don't see why not. It could be this year. And then you have the Great Lakes West Conference. The Bay Rockets are going to win that, going 7-2, 4-1. The Elyria Catholic Panthers, 7-2, 4-1 as well. But Bay beats Elyria Catholic. That is why Bay wins the West. Fairview and Rocky River going to tie for 3rd. North Olmsted 4th place. And Westlake in dead last. But you know what? If it comes down to Buckeye and Bay, I'm thinking Bay wins it. I don't know why. I just think Bay has the advantage in my opinion. Should be a fun one nonetheless. Top 10. No, not top 10 games of the year. That'll have to wait in a moment. When Southwestern Conference gets revealed, your champion will be the Avon Eagles going 8-2, 7-0. And Olmsted Falls Bulldogs going to be right in their tails, but they will drop the big game against them. 8-2, 6-1. Avon Lake Shoremen going to be 7-3, 5-2. Amherst Steel Comets 6-4, 4-3. Then the Berea Mid-Park Titans going to be 5-5, 3-4. Of course, one of those 5 losses will be against the Hornets. I just believe it. Then the Midview Middies going to be 2-8, 2-5. Elyria Pioneers, who have jumped ship from the GCC to the Southwestern Conference, 2-8, 1-6. By the way, did you know Elyria was where I actually got my license to drive? I know. Such trivia that you probably never considered until today. North Ridgeville finishing in dead last, but despite that, they will get 3 wins. They will win all their non-conference games, but lose all their conference games, which is weird to say. Very weird to say. Now our top 10 games of the year. That's right. These are big, big, big games. Your number 1 game of the year. Medina going to go on the road against Mentor. That's right. Medina has a quarterback, Drew Lauer, who is going to Penn State next year. Once again, Penn State is where he is going to be going. That is game of the year. I know our number 2 pick, Canton McKinley against Wadsworth, Washington, is one of the best rivals in not just the state, but perhaps the country when it comes to high school football. But this game will have so much on the line. These are the 2 best schools in Northeast Ohio, in my opinion. Holben, St. Edward, they also are some of the best in Northeast Ohio as well. They'll be on October 22nd. And the 3rd best game of the year. But my goodness, I cannot help but talk about that Mentor Medina game with the GCC on the line. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there because, of course, priorities come first. Highland Hornets, that's right. We'll be playing those rough and tough Revere Minutemen. That would be fun. Revere very good at football, as we all know. But man, oh man. Mentor Medina, October 1st, big game. Number 4, St. Edward going to play Mentor on the 4th. And then the 10th, Avon against Avon Lake. The Eagles against the Shoremen. Should be a fun one out there. And then on the 18th, a Saturday night, when St. Ignatius plays Archbishop Holben. Archbishop Holben, I believe, was number 1 in Northeast Ohio zone. Top 25 poll. St. Ignatius also in there as well. And speaking of people that made that poll, you have number 7, Massillon playing St. Ed's the day before. My, oh my, that should be fun. Medina gets to play Brunswick on October 8th. Stowe plays Hudson on October 22nd. The National Conference will probably be on the line that night. And then number 10 will be St. Vincent, St. Mary against Aurora. St. B, St. M, LeBron's alumni, as you all know by now, and how he's donated a lot to the gym there. But this is football, even though he did play on the football team. This is football in which they play Aurora the 2nd week of the season. Speaking of Aurora, an honorable mention. Don't mean to show favoritism and bias again, but you know what? That Highland-Aurora game, I tell people, I just have a gut feeling that it's going to be one of the best games of the entire season. Sorry for the voice crack if I had one. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be a great game. 9th week of the season. We'll play Aurora right here on our home turf. It's going to be great. I have a feeling it's going to be a sellout crowd. It's going to be a pink out theme in the student section. And we will hopefully have a Super Mario themed student section. If we go to the playoffs, I ran a poll on Twitter. 25 folks voted, and the majority, not plurality, but majority of people said, you know what, let's do a Mario theme. And yeah, I'm just saying, it might happen, folks, if we make the playoffs. And you know what helps to make the playoffs? If we win the conference, which means we have to play Aurora, Barberton, Copley, Cuyahoga Falls, Revere, Roosevelt, and Talmadge. And if we win, I'm saying it, we go to Wally World. Moose says you're closed, I say you're open. One of the greatest movies of all time, but I'm pretty sure you all knew that by now. I just think it's funny. Going to Wally World would be perfect. And of course, I've been tweeting about it like, hello and goodbye to anyone standing in the law firm's way. Yes, I've been tweeting stuff that has been a parody of the world famous John Cena prank phone call, one of the most hilarious prank phone calls in the history of the planet. My goodness, like earlier today, I said, hi, can I speak to Champ? Who? Champ is the American Conference champ here. Who's the American Conference champ? That question will be answered by late October when the Highland Hornets look to win the American Conference. Man, oh man, it's very exciting times around here in Northeast Ohio, and especially in the high school football world, because it's 9 more days away, and next week I get to pick who is going to win. And not just that, but the Browns are going to be back in town, and the Browns are going to be going on, and the Browns are hopefully going to be winning, which should be very exciting. I cannot wait. I cannot wait at all. And not just the Browns, but of course you have the Indians who are falling out, but you know what? It's better than nothing. I'll say that. I will say that. And I guess that is all she wrote for today's episode of the Tommy Maroon Show. Of course, until then, till we meet again, I'm Tommy Maroon here. Goodbye, everyone.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.